Now let's look at the graph for a long call position. Right away, you will notice that the red line, the value of the option, is not continuous, right? It is actually nicked at this corner, and this is why we can say options have a defined loss or defined risk, because it does limit your losses. Even if the stock price continues to go down to zero, your losses are capped here. Compared to just holding the stock, which will continually go down as the stock goes down to zero. For our example, we are starting with a call option with a strike price of $50, and the cost of this call option is $2 per option. So the premium price is $2 per contract. And remember, each contract is 100 shares. So multiply it by 100 to get $200, which is the cost of this long call position. And also remember that this P&L chart or profit diagram is the value of the option at expiration. So let's start with point B. We call this the break-even point. This is where the option is worth what you paid for and there's no profit or loss. The break-even point or the price is the sum of the strike price plus the premium price. If for our example, $50 strike price and $2 option premium, so our break-even price is $52. At expiration, the stock needs to be at $52 for you to break even on this long call position. So you don't lose any money, but you also don't make any money either. And you might wonder why don't you have a $2 per share profit since your strike price is only $50, right? You can exercise it and get the stock at $50, and if the stock is at $52, how come you don't profit from that difference of $2 per share? And that's because you paid $2 already for the option. So that $2 added to your $50 strike price. So it increased your cost basis to $52 per share if you exercise this option. So that's why you won't break even until the stock goes above $52 per share. Now let's look at a profitable point. At point A, we are sitting on $200 of profit. And that's because at point A, the stock closes at $54 per share. And because your cost basis is at $52 per share, times that's $2 per share in profit times about 100 is $200. So at $54, you're sitting on $200 of profit. Now, if the stock is below the break-even price at expiration, then you will start losing some money. See from here, if it's below the break-even price, you see the value is actually in the negative territory now. So you're starting to lose money. And if at expiration the stock is at your strike price or less, then this call option will be worth zero and it's going to be out of the money and expire worthless. Now, the beauty of this, as you can see, is that the max you can lose is the $200 that you paid for this option. You cannot lose any more than that. Even if the stock goes down to $30 per share or $10 per share, you will only lose $200, which is the cost of the option. Now, if you hold the stock instead, and if the stock continues to go down in price, guess what? You're out of luck because your losses will continue to go down. It is not capped, and whatever you paid for the shares, you will lose all of it if it goes down to zero. But for the owner of the call option, it doesn't matter. $200 is the max they're going to lose in this case. If you're wondering why it is worthless below the strike price, remember you have a call option with a strike price of $50. You have the right to buy it at $50. Now let's say the stock at expiration is at $45 per share. Why would you exercise this call option to buy at 50 when you can just go and buy at $45? Right? No logical person would buy at a higher price. So that's why this call option would have zero value at expiration. And that's because it's out of the money. It's not giving you any value. So therefore, it is worthless. Lastly, the last point I want to make is that this is the general graph or profit diagram for a long call position. It's always going to have this shape, and these numbers are just for example, but if you just remove these numbers in the stock price and just remember that for a long call, this is how the profit diagram will look. It will always start out from the left, and then it's pretty much this is the defined loss, which is pretty much at is the maximum you can lose, which is the amount that you paid for this call option. And then it's going to go to the right, and then right at the strike price, it's going to start rising to the break even point. So from the strike price to the break even point is pretty much the option premium. And then if the stock goes beyond that, then the value of the option will go up proportionally as the stock goes up.